Hey guys, it's patch day for Albion Online, and the Abyssal Depths Patch 3 is already out by the time you see this video. Crucible results are in that same patch. Zizaran is the person who is going to take away the Galantine pair and 2,000 subs first place. If you don't know who Zizaran is, highly recommend his content. He does a lot of variety stuff, and he's a huge Path of Exile streamer if you're into that content. Super funny guy, super relatable. In other news, Abyssal Depths Patch 3, some Abyssal Depths changes, but also some balance changes. I'm not going to go line by line like I did for the previous video for the upcoming changes for two reasons. A, these are a little bit less significant in my opinion, and these changes are already in the game. These are things that are already implemented by the time that you're watching this video. So it's less important because it's already happening in a way. The duration of each level for the depths is getting reduced by 3 minutes, and they're making it so that it is faster to get into the depths once you get kicked out. What this means is that you're going to be playing a lot less lobby simulator if you do the depths as a main content and get more of that consistent combat feel for your gameplay. So that's really a good change for that. Some vanity merchant changes. They're changing the way that a certain community token is for the new adventure tokens that they put into the game, and changing some of the token value salvage. Mob changes. Avalonian raid bosses are now going to be immune to silence effects. There was some weird, wonky, like silence forever thing that was going on where you would continually silence a boss during a section of the fight in order to like completely negate a mechanic. In my opinion, that's probably a little bit like erring on the side of exploits. So I'm kind of glad that they changed that. Um, in the sake of fairness, I don't think that anybody's really surprised that that happened eventually. It's just weird that it happened like now. Um, Tier 1 equipment and carrot soup are randomly going to be able to be sold in Tutorial Marketplace and Cove. Not sure why that wasn't the case before, but that's an okay change. I don't understand why those marketplaces aren't just like full marketplaces, but maybe they just want people to like venture toward the main capital as like a first thought. Um, yeah, super small change in my opinion. There's some functionality changes for chat, HUD tracker in streamer mode, and trading while in corrupted dungeons getting disabled. Not really sure if that has something to do with like RMT or what. If I'm being really honest, if you know what that's about, leave a comment. Um, some balance changes. Halberd's getting an enemy CC resistance decrease debuff. It applies. It's a buff for Halberd. um, I think this is pretty cool. I don't think that it's going to cause Halberd to like suddenly become meta because it spreads bleed and bleed can be just cleansed off. So yeah, that's cool for Halberd people. Whoever's using those. Might be a thing in like some brawl comps if you're doing like a top down sort of a like dot bleed comp thing going on. If you're maximizing that, so like that's kind of cool. I guess. Crossbows, increase in cooldown, increase in damage and hit detection. I think this is just like a balance change for functionality more than anything. Just makes it so that you're using it less of the time, but it's still maintaining damage. Curse Skull getting a little bit of a distance covered nerf. Everything else is just getting a little bit more normalized. Let's say it's an overall nerf, but losing 2 meters on this just means that sometimes you might not hit a further target, or it might not. Well, yeah, might not hit a further target. Reality Fisher getting a little bit of a cast time buff. Not sure that it needed it. Maybe they just had to do it in order for it to make sense in animations. But it looks like for 1v1 combat. mm, Okay, yeah, I'm not sure that that change was even necessary, if I'm being honest. Mighty Blow on Broadsword dash time getting decreased, and end position offset is a little bit different. Mighty Blow's stand time and ending distance from target has reduced, making it easier for Hero Strike to follow up on fleeing enemies despite its recent range reduction. Okay, I think that that's a bit of a nothing burger of a change, especially since there's a whole lot of nobody using Broadsword. Helmets, Night Helmet getting reduced from 30 to 25. I remember when I was looking at the announcements for this changes, and I was actually really shocked that they were putting this in, but it's like a super welcome change. Night Helmet effectively lets you play the game, and Having more night helmets going off during the course of fighting is super beneficial. Energizing shield for all headgear, helmets, caps, and cowls. Cooldown going from 20 to 25. Okay, yeah, that's it kind of makes sense, I guess. It's too much energy security in 1v1 content. I don't think anybody was thinking that. They may have more data than I do. I know no one that was thinking, man, that gives too much energy. After image on Mistwalker shoe coming down 1 meter. Yeah, okay. I You could bring this all the way down to 8 meters, and I still wouldn't be upset about it. And for the reason that I would use Mistwalker shoes, I think it's still pretty good. So yeah, I'm not really sure that that affects anything. Face scale sandals coming from max duration 6.5 to 6. This is actually like a pretty significant change, only because the extra half a second might mean that you don't get in or get out in some cases where you would use face scale sandals. This is a little dangerous. I think that it's a subtle change, but I think that it can cause people to just die in some cases where they may not have. Inner shadow and shadow color, improve visual affection, blah 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 blah. Yeah, cool, whatever. Visuals and some bug fixes. Nothing crazy. This patch in general, as like a an like altogether, the coolest thing in my opinion is probably just the little bit here from the depths changes. Um, the duration being reduced by 3 minutes is massive in my opinion, and having people just be in combat more and in the depths more and fighting more, yeah, that's just good for gameplay. Don't know why it wouldn't be. Um, yeah, if there's anything that I missed, if you guys have any comments, you need anything, leave a comment down below, leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.